Let's jump in.
So I'm going to start with this bigger jar.
Why a bigger jar?
Well, because I like to have a little extra room.
Okay.
Sometimes when I'm using things that have a lot of things in them, they may need to be strained out, and so it's just easier for me to get some of the ginger and the vanilla beans out of this wide mouth jar than it is to maybe have to really fight something smaller like this or this one.
So when we're making something new with lots of components, sometimes it's nice to use a big jar like this. If we're going to gift it, we put it into decorative jars when we're finished.
Yeah, so what I will do is once this is finished, I will strain it out so there's no like sediments left in from maybe the ginger and the peel. And then I will, kind of just divide it up into the cute little jars, and then I'll gift it out that way. But for now, I want to put it in this big jar so it's just easy to take out all of the bigger pieces.
There you go.
Okay, so the first thing is...
And this is the this is the alcohol-free low-carb extract. No, I'm sorry, this is the ginger spice extract,
Yep.
forgive me.
Ginger spice.
That is on our website. You
Yep.
can search for it and pull it up if you want to follow along.
Yep, this is fresh ginger. I love ginger. I just want to smell it all day. It just smells so lovely. So it's 2 cups of ginger, and it's just sliced. And this is one of Starlet's recipes on our blog, and she says you don't have to peel it, just slice it. And so I really roughly slice this. I really do not take a lot of time because I just want the ginger flavor to come out, and then when it's ready, I'll probably just take it out and then give it out as gifts and then use it. So
go.
I'm going to put the 2 cups of ginger just right into my jar. It's just so easy with these wide, we call them mother jars because they're so big, but it's, I think it's 1.5
This is a 1.5 liter jar, something like that, 1
Yeah.
liter, 2 liter.
Okay, so now she says we need 4 vanilla beans. And, we were trying to decide which vanilla beans do we want to put in here. Because, we have a lot of options.
We have a lot of options.
But we decided on Veracruz because it has kind of a little bit of a spicy kick to it. And with the ginger, I just think that would complement it just perfectly. You can choose any bean you like. You do not have to use the Veracruz, but we just thought, hey, you know what? Let's just...
Veracruz is fun.
Spicy kick might just be the perfect.
Yep, so for the new people joining us, vanilla beans are like coffee beans, and where they're grown, they'll all taste differently. And so Mexican vanilla beans are Veracruz beans. They have that spicy vanilla kick.
Because of the soil they're grown in.
Because of the soil that they're grown in. Same kind of species, but where they're grown makes a big difference. And so it's perfect for ginger. For most people when they begin, Madagascar is their bean of choice because it's traditional. It's that creamy, buttery vanilla that we're all used to.
It's a safe place to start.
So often when we're experimenting with new extracts and new ingredients that are not vanilla beans, we'll use a Madagascar or an Indonesian, those that are sort of basic, traditional, because we kind of know what to expect. And it isolates the vanilla variable, so the only real difference is the new ingredient that we're adding.
Yes.
But in our case, we've made this already with I think this was a Madagascar one. Or was that a Mexican one as well? I can't recall.
This was Madagascar.
That was Madagascar, and now we're going to try a Mexican.
Yep. Okay, so, you'll get your beans, it'll be bean day, it's like the best day ever, you get these in the mail, it's like, woohoo, I've waited forever! I can finally do something with these. So, you just open them up, and, this is for our newbies. I know if you've been with us for a while, we do this all the time, but we have so many new people that I want you to know that there's so many different ways to put this bean in your jar, okay? First thing is you can just tie it in a knot. All I'm doing is I'm tying it in a knot, like I would like my shoelaces or something. Just put it in there like that. You can just tie a few.
And we do that because...
We do this because we can save the caviar for later.
We're not cutting the bean open.
We're not cutting it open, so for something later,
and we're making it small enough. We're making it small enough so it can be submerged in the alcohol.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, and so I also want to slice it. I'm just going to slice it down the middle, just like that, and I'm going to cut it just so it fits really nicely in here. And that's 1 more bean here. I'm going to, the recipe calls for 4 beans. I have a problem. So I'm going to put 6 in because, you know what, I love vanilla. That's how we got here, right?
That's how we got here. And with most vanilla extracts, we always go by weight. With some of these specialty recipes, we're trying to highlight the ginger and use
Yeah.
vanilla as an accent. And so that's when sometimes you'll see vanilla recipes that call for a bean quantity instead of a bean weight. Weight is always best because it's consistent. So you kind of have to be the judge. If your beans are really small, sometimes they grow smaller, sometimes they grow bigger. If they're really small, you might want to use a few more than what the recipe calls for. If they're bigger, you can use a few less. It's always up to you. And like Jill says, we like erring on the side of more beans because we just love vanilla.
And I do love ginger, but I don't want to lose that vanilla aspect to this. So I may err on the side of going a little heavy on vanilla.
Chrissy just asked, is it okay to use pint jars with metal lids or should I use swing top? You can use pint jars with metal lids. We've seen instances where the metal will rust. Sometimes a pint jar, if it's really old, sometimes pint jars are made for dry storage and not for wet storage. So you want to make sure that the jar that you have is a wet storage jar, not a dry storage jar. But the fail-safe is just to get some wax paper, put it over the top, and then just screw the lid over the wax paper so the extract doesn't come in contact with the actual metal, and that should get you there. You should be just fine.
Yep.
It's really that simple. Yep.
Okay,
Great
so
question.
we are going to add spiced rum to this one. This is Kraken black spiced rum. This is what Star recommends. So I'm going to put 12 ounces of spiced rum.
Hey, Jeanette just messaged. Jeanette from here in Utah, coming home from Hurricane to Garland. We know what that is. So.
We do. We're neighbors.
So she's watching on the road as well. Lots of people watching on the road. Be safe. Hope you had fun in Hurricane. It's not, when you're in Utah, it's not hurricane.
It's hurricane.
It's hurricane.
That's right. You got to say it right.
So what are we pouring here?
12 ounces.
12 ounces
Good
of...
thing I have my glasses on.
Yes, exactly. So this is the Kraken, 12 ounces, spiced rum.
Yeah, and
There we
because
go.
I put a little bit of extra beans in here, I'm going to just add just a titch more to cover the top. Just the displacement of the beans. Sometimes you need just a little bit more to add. I'm going to push that down like that.
There you go.
And I really want to be able to maybe add to this. If I really like it, I'll just add some more ginger and vanilla and we'll keep going. The recipe here says to fill it and then you are going to just kind of shake it a little bit. And
then we let it sit.
you just let it sit for a while. And then it's up to you. There isn't, kind of with vanilla, we're like, around a year, but even sometimes 9 months, it's okay. With this, you're gonna have to decide what you like. Do you want more of the ginger coming out, or do you want to wait a little bit longer so more of the vanilla comes out? Or you can even remove some of the ginger if you want more vanilla. So it's kind of just like a dance. What do you want to do here? Do you want more ginger? Do you want vanilla? And that's what's kind of fun because it's going to be yours. You can follow this recipe, but what is it that you particularly like? Do you like the ginger or do you want more of that vanilla?
Welcome to the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
So the recipe is written with the assumption that you wanted ginger more than vanilla, and so it asks to just let it sit until you like the taste. That could be just 3, 4, 5 months. But if you want that vanilla to come through, it takes about a full year for the vanilla to extract, and so you could wait up to that long if you needed to get that vanilla taste to come through over the ginger. So
Yeah.
it really is. It's more craft than science, we always say. And I think it's safe to say that almost no two extracts are the same when you get into people's homes because
Which is what's so fun about
that's what's so fun. The different
That's
spirits
right.
and the different beans, they all make them differently.
But when you're ready to use this, I would suggest that you strain it out because you're going to have, and I already see it, there's a little bit of sediments here rising to the top from the ginger. We didn't have to, the recipe doesn't call for you to peel it. So some of that's going to come to the top. It's super easy and quick. You just, slice it up, put it in. But when you're ready, and if you want, put it in some smaller jars and gift it. I don't know if you can see how cute this is, but if I got this for a gift, I would be really happy.
It's fun.
It's darling, and it looks homemade, and it looks like someone, had some thought to it, you know, and I don't know, those gifts always seem a little more special to me.
There you go. So a couple of questions that are coming up. Can you reuse the beans after these are done? You can. They'll have a taste of ginger inside of them. They will have absorbed some of that. But you know, if the beans have only been used for 2 or 3 months in the ginger extract, you can absolutely take those beans and put them in another. But just again, that ginger taste is going to transfer with the beans. So just make sure that what you're using them in, you're okay with that little bit of ginger aftertaste. Which actually, as I'm saying that could be really good.
Well, and I actually have done that.
Yeah.
Right here.
Oh, with it.
I've actually just used the ginger and the vanilla, but with clear rum. I used Captain Morgan. I did this in, I think it was beginning December, and it's just Captain Morgan with the vanilla beans and the ginger. I didn't use the spiced rum, that's the difference here. And this is lovely on seared grilled meats. Like tonight we're having salmon, and I'm going to just put a little splash of it on our salmon before I grill it. It's really good if you put it in pulled pork in the crock pot, or stir fries, just splash a little bit of it in there. I'm not sure about how the spiced rum would taste with the seared meats, but if you do have spiced and you do have clear, you can do both.
There you go. A couple of really good questions. Can you use cork if you're a cork top, if you're giving the bottle away? You absolutely can use a cork top. We use cork tops for just about everything. Corks do deteriorate over time, so we always just recommend using a brand new cork top. We've never in 7 years, 6.5 years, however long it's been, we've never seen a cork deteriorate, but we know that happens. Spirits with high alcohol content use corks, and they sit upright where wine tips it down. The evaporation of the spirit inside the bottle, it all keeps the cork healthy, so you're fine using a cork. What else? Want to make sure we answer questions. Can you dry the ginger after extracting and use it in something else? Oh, Mary, that's a great question. And as you know, Mary, she's been with us for some time. We never waste anything here, right?
No,
when
we don't.
anything is taken out of the extract, it does have either a dry or a wet use application that you can explore.
Yeah.
Always leave some headspace in the extract. That's correct.
Yeah.
That's a great tip. It can expand. It needs to breathe just a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you need to fill the jars all the way to the top? No. You can use big jars and just fill them like we did here. As long as all of the ingredients are submerged, you don't have to fill the jar. So that's why we started. We've got this huge jar. We're making just that much because it's easy access, like we said. And then when we're ready to gift this, we'll pour it into cute little, decorative jars to give it out.
Or if I'm just using it on the counter, I don't want this huge jar on the counter, so I'll switch it to a smaller jar that is very usable. I usually put the pouring spouts on top, so it's just, I can splash it into, what I'm cooking or baking, and it'll be really easy. So if you're gifting or it's something you use often, we put it into smaller jars. But, when you're actually adding things, sometimes the exact measurements of the recipe aren't going to work because the displacement sometimes is a little off. So just make sure that you're covering your beans and the ginger, and you'll be good.
There you go. Paul Gingrich is here. Hello, Paul. If you look for the Gingrich online, Paul put together a great summary of an extract that he likes to make, and we named it after him, the Gingrich.
And it's with the sous vide, and it's a quicker method if you're interested in getting the vanilla done.
And the rabbit hole gets deeper. You mentioned sous vide, and now there's even more. Here we go. Others use moonshine. Moonshine's great. You just have to be cognizant of the alcohol content, and so we're actually going to talk about that in our next segment. I'm a big freeze dryer. Can vanilla bean go in the freeze dryer for later use? It's oily, and so when freeze drying product that has oil on it, it's going to be hard to get like a pure freeze dried vanilla bean. Freeze dry will remove the moisture, the water, but it won't necessarily remove the oil. And so I haven't seen a successful case where a vanilla bean has been freeze dried. It will remove all the moisture, but it just depends on where the oil's at within the dryer and whether that moisture can escape through the oil. You may or may not. So give it a try and let us know what you think. If you've got one of those at-home freeze dryers, we'd love to know what you think. In the market, rising price, able to get many beans out of our extract product. In a market of rising prices, we're able to get many uses out of our extract products. Yes, Roxanne, that's exactly it. Beans are used, you know, when you're done extracting, you take the beans out, you dry them in the oven, you can turn them into vanilla bean powder, you can put them in your sugar, you can make vanilla sugar.
You can put them in your mother jar.
You can put them in your mother jar to get more extracts over time. You can, if you didn't cut the beans open when you made the extract, you can cut them open, harvest the caviar and all that goodness that's still inside of it. And you can put it in your ice cream. You can make vanilla bean paste. So we never throw anything away. We're just preserving, using, expanding all these applications.
Yes. But if all of this sounds super overwhelming, take a deep breath. It's all on our website. If you want to look up powder, put it in the search bar. Whatever you want to look up, put it in the search bar. It's probably on there.
It is on there,
yeah. It will give you a clue of where to move forward.
There you go. So look on the search bar. We have a powder recipe. We have a sugar recipe. It's all there.
Yeah.
Okay, next segment. I think we've answered everyone's questions, well, as many as we could in that segment. We're moving. We are like an extract making machine today, aren't we? In fact, we've got 2 more extracts to go.
Yeah, we do.
And 20 minutes, we've got plenty of time. This is going to be perfect.